Alright, I wanted to start this video off with a joke, alright? What is Gold Mason's favorite cave in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? Sorry, we can't answer that because he got fully paralyzed. Alright, so this is a game where I want to talk about Magneton because I think, well, I see a lot of lower level players, even like mid-level players, who will take their Magneton and just sack it when they realize that they've either trapped the Skarmory or that there's no Skarmory on the opposing team. And I understand the idea is that Magneton's best utility is trapping and removing Skarmory. That's the best thing it can do for your team. But sometimes you can get a little bit more value out of Magneton and use this as a sort of microcosm of what you can do with a lot of Pokemon that you think that their role has been fulfilled or that their role is not that useful in a game. So lead Celebi, switch to Milotic against the Salamence, and I get critical hit on the HP flying. That's not good. I'll go to Skarmory. And then they'll go to their Skarmory as I set up a spike. And now, of course, with this team, I'm going to go straight to Magneton against the Skarmory. In fact, I would recommend that pretty much every team go straight to Magneton. There is a chance, of course, that your opponent will hard switch to Dugtrio, eliminate your Magneton. But, I mean, it's a matter of how telegraphed it is that you have Magneton and how telegraphed that they have Dugtrio. On this guy's team, I'm not sure if there's a Dugtrio. It's maybe possible, but I don't know if I know any teams that have Salamence plus Skarm plus Dug. Versus my team, yes, I mean, if you know the BKC sample team, then this is lining up. Well, actually, no, this is the Donphan team, right? This is a homebrew kind of idea. If you know the BKC team, which is loosely what this is based on, I mean, that's why I have lead Celebi anyway. Maybe, but, like, I don't know. Does Celebi, Milotic, Skarm scream Magneton in the back to you? I'm not sure. In any case, I am going to go Magneton, go for the Thunderbolt, and they go for Roar. Another thing that maybe is worth discussing, I think I'd want to hear your guys' opinion in the comment section. If your Skarmory is going to live the Magneton Thunderbolt, do you get second layer of spikes or do you Roar? And I understand that Roar means that you can preserve your Skarm, and if you have such a team that you can eliminate this Magneton, then maybe you can get your Skarm back into the game, but also your Skarm's going to be really low, right? So I don't know if that's the idea there. Wow, that loop is really silent at the end, huh? Yeah, so I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Generally speaking, I tend to just go for the second spike, but maybe that's not a good play. It might depend on your team a little bit. Alright, Blissey's going to get leech seeded, switch to Jirachi as I go to Skarm. Against this, I'm just going to Roar. If they had, say, Calm Mind, it would be really nice to get it out of there. And if it is Calm Mind and they go for like Thunderbolt into my Skarm, then I'm not going to beat the Jirachi one-on-one anyway, so I think Roar is pretty sensible there. Given that they went for a Wish, I'm guessing that they're probably defensive Jirachi on this team, especially since they have the Salamence. So maybe I could have went for Spikes there, but I can always get Spikes later. I'm going to get my second Spike here as they go to Skarm and heal up. I'm going to go straight to Magneton because they're probably spiking, or they're going to switch. And I get my leftovers chip heal, which is pretty nice. I'll go just straight back to Skarm. I do get Thunder Waved on mine, but that's kind of okay. I'm going to go for Spike, and now I've got 3 layers up. Unless they have something like Claydol on this team, which is looking less and less likely by the turn, then they're going to have to deal with 3 layers of spikes this entire game. Pretty simple stuff here, just Celebi and Jirachi trading nastiness. But since they revealed that they're toxic, I know that they don't have Body Slam, And against that Celebi, they're not very incentivized to click Fire Punch, so I'm going to make a hard switch to Magneton. If I trap this Jirachi, I might be able to eliminate it early if I don't get, like, completely... Like, if I don't get burned right away by the Fire Punch, because presumably their Fire Punch protect is their last two moves. But I managed to catch a switch to Skarmory, which is fantastic, because it's going to be in range to die to this Thunderbolt. In fact, I think they should have went for the double protect. Now, granted, I got the crit, which is tough. But I think maybe they could have went for the double protect. They have a 50-50 shot to get, like, kind of out of range of my Magneton's Thunderbolt, because I'm neither Modest nor Magnet. And I will say, just right here, this set that you see... Oh, it's a little bit... Let me move that up. There we go. You guys are, as Zet says, you're seeing how the sausage is made here. There we go. That should be more readable there. This set here, this is not a replacement for Modest Magneton in the slightest. You are almost never going to kill a Skarmory in one shot, whereas Modest Magneton with a Magnet is generally going to kill Skarm in one shot. Also, I want to note that you're never, ever even close to killing a Fortress with Hidden Power Fire with this Magneton set. The idea with this Magneton set is that you can trap an opposing Magneton. You will always live a modest HP fire unless they crit, and you will always outspeed, well, okay, maybe not always, but generally you're going to outspeed an HP fire Magneton. So the idea is that you go Skarm on Skarm, and then you hard switch to Magneton, and either they stay in with Skarm, you trap it, you get big damage, or they go to their Magneton, and then you beat their Magneton, unless they paralyze you and then they get the full para. But, I mean, there's only but so much you can do about that. In any case, Swampert's here. I'm gonna see, some players would look at this and say, alright, Magneton did its job, and sack the Magneton to the Swampert there. And I'm telling you, there's no need to do all of that. Or even, like, go for a Toxic on this Swampert and trade the Magneton that way. There's no need to do that. What if this is a Surf refresh Swampert, right? And they can just refresh off the Toxic. Then you don't really get that much out of going for that play. They Surf you, threatening to 2-hit KO you, maybe. I'm not sure what the role on that is. And, like, that's not great. Or what if this Blissey has Heal Bell to get that Swampert back in the game, you know? Like, that might not be a great play. I have Celebi, who covers virtually everything that Swampert could do. And it seems to be Earthquake, which indicates to me, based on, I think, that damage, that this is just a standard defensive Swampert. And getting a Toxic off there could have been nice, but again, what if I miss? There's so much stuff there that could go wrong. And I could still get some use out of this Magneton later. What if, instead, I could, trap this Jirachi? What if this last Pokemon does not want to get Toxic, for example? Like, there's a lot of more stuff we could maybe do with this Magneton, and Celebi is so low drawback for me to switch into, so just go to Celebi there. I'm going to Leech Seed against the defensive Jirachi here, and then I'm going to switch to Magneton. The idea being here that with this Leech Seed, I'm going to heal up a lot of HP, and I have Protect, so I'm actually going to outpace the Fire Punch healing almost here, which is insane. As long as I don't get burned. Did not get burned there. I am just going to Protect again. They can go for a Wish. They should have probably went for a Wish there. But now we eliminate that Jirachi. And see, if I sacked that Magneton to the Swampert, I would not have been able to do that. And it would have, and not to say I would never be able to kill this Jirachi ever again, but like that made that so much easier, right? All I had to do was not get burned, and my Magneton basically eliminates the Jirachi. And yeah, even if they went for Wish and played perfectly around, I probably leave them at a point where they're almost dead to spikes, in which case, like, it's going to be really difficult for their Jirachi to do much in this game. Magneton still at 73% as this Tyranitar comes in, and again, some players would just sack their Magneton to try to like get a Toxic off on that, and that would make some sense, honestly, because this is a leftovers Tyranitar. This is basically the only win condition left. I mean, maybe the Salamence is a win condition, I'm not sure, but lead DD Mence is a little bit uncommon. In any case, I have basically the hardest counter to a DD Tyranitar in the game in my Donphan. So I'm just going to go to Donphan here, as they reveal to be mixed, and they get a burn on me. That's not great. In any case, I'm going to stay in and Rapid Spin, because honestly, at this stage, my Donphan is pretty not doing much for me. And if they switch, or if they miss their Fire Blast, or if they, like, I don't know what they could have done, really, but then I can get that Rapid Spin off. And if they kill me, alright, whatever. I can go to my Lodic and try to recover, loop out. This might be a Pursuit Tar, actually. Which doesn't really make a lot of sense, because you don't have a spinner on this team. Yeah, I don't know. Strange team. And then sack the Donphan there. Now we get to Celebi. I mean, honestly, there's an argument maybe I could have went to Celebi there, but my thought was that if this is standard defensive Swampert, it has Ice Beam, and Ice Beam probably could have killed my Donphan. And if I switch Celebi into an Ice Beam, and if I get like crit or frozen, then things get really awkward. So I'll just take the straight up sack so that I can get Celebi in. Go for a Leech Seed, because I figured that they would switch there, because I don't think they would want to risk their entire Swampert. But okay. Sort of anticipating that my opponent doesn't really know what they're doing, I'm just gonna Leech Seed. I mean, and if they stayed in and went for another Ice Beam, alright, whatever. I have Recover on this Celebi as well. I'll be okay. Then I go my Lodic to make sure to get it back in the game, because that Leech Seed off the Blissey is going to be phenomenal. And I'm going to go for a Toxic to force the Blissey to switch, but they go to Swampert here. And this is perfect for me, because I can just go back to Celebi. I take in Ice Beam. Not fantastic. But I am just going to take the kill here. Preserves HP on Celebi. Make sure that we don't get hit frozen. And if they switch to like Blissey or Salamence on hard predicting me to go for like Leech Seed or something, well then this Swampert's gonna die pretty soon anyway. So go back to Skarm. And then this is confirmed to be a Choice Band Salamence based on damage, based on the fact that it's not getting HP recovery. And then it's gonna be pretty academic from here. And honestly, this Magneton's still valuable. What if this Mence locks into HP Flying to kill something? Then I can get a kill on it. I go for a Toxic as they crit me with HP Grass there, which is not great. If they didn't crit me with HP Grass, then my Lodic just recover spams until I win. I'm sorry, what was I trying to do there? I went to Skarm. I think I was just simply trying to get a Protect turn, recover, stall out this Tyranitar, and then get a switch to Salamence. Maybe that was greedy of me. I don't think that was a great play. I mean, it also risks a burn on the Mence. In any case, I am going to switch hard to the Magneton. Assuming that my opponent would want to switch, but they just go for a Fire Blast into my Salamence anyway, which I have no idea what my opponent's thinking. And that would have been really bad if I lost my Magneton there, but I can simply go for Protect. They're running out of Fire Blast. I mean, they're running out of health is the more important thing. And then I'm going to Thunderbolt because I know I'm in kill range there. And then I can Protect against this the CB Mence and see what it's locking into. It's locking into HP Flying, so basically I win the game from here. I'll go for Toxic. Yep, catch the Blissey. Now the Blissey's gonna have to switch. At least at some point. It doesn't have to switch right away. But I can go to Celebi. And then I can just recover. Or go for Leech Seed. That's probably even better. In fact, I go for Recover. I guess that's nice to sort of block Ice Beam. Presumably last move on this is Ice Beam. But they're going to stay in with their Blissey as I Leech Seed it. And then, because they didn't get any damage on me, I'm pretty safe to just go for another Leech Seed. Let's see if that's what I do. I should go for Psychic. That makes a little bit more sense. Get more chip on the Salamence. And then go to Magneton. Because you have to go for exactly Earthquake to threaten this Magneton. And you don't. Against the Blissey, again, we can just Toxic. And then there we go. So, yeah, this is the sort of idea. We can ignore all the strange plays that I made against that Fire Blasting Tyranitar. I made plays to choke the game. Now, granted, I will say, like, two of those Fire Blast clicks made absolutely no sense at all from that Tyranitar. Like, Fire Blasting into the Mence, like, regardless what Mence I am, I'm just going to just destroy you. I guess it's like, you don't really have a great play otherwise. But I digress. I will go to Salamence to get an Intimidate drop on this, then go to Magneton. Not very necessary, but I mean, it was something. I go for Protect, get some chip healing back. I guess it stops me from losing to 2 crits in a row. I mean, I think I didn't die to 2 crits in a row anyway, and then we win the game. And yes, this is a lower ladder game, but I think the point still stands. Like sometimes you can get some value out of your Magneton, especially if it's a leftovers Magneton like that. But even Magneton, you can preserve it if you have a good switch, like, you know, that Swampert. I had a great switch to the Swampert in Celebi, and then this Tyranitar, I had a pretty good switch into Tyranitar with Donphan. Now, it was unfortunate because it was the wrong set, but I digress. And then I'm guessing that this is a mixed tar based on the team construction, but like Crunch Pursuit, that it doesn't really make much sense. But then again, it's like, if you were a mixed tar, why do you not have Ice Beam, or why didn't you click more Ice Beam? I'm not sure. In any case, let's not analyze too deeply the team building decisions of a less than 1300 gamer. And not to slam people who are at low ladder. I mean, you're learning the game, of course, but yeah, hopefully this can be a learning experience for them if they ever see this video, and this could be a learning experience for all of you on why you shouldn't just sack your Magneton willy-nilly like that. It can get some extra value. So hope that point was kind of made there, and that'll be it for this video.